Life is a Ride is now selling the latest Weiser Technic accessories. Keep watching to find out why you must buy them and how they could save your life. Let's take a look at the rear lighting on a modern bike like the BMW R1300 GS. Many modern motorbikes no longer have a central dedicated brake light. The running lights, brake lights and indicators are now all encapsulated into the indicator pods. As we turn the ignition on, we get the running lights. When we indicate, we get the running lights as well as the indicator light. When we put the brake light on, it is so bright that you can barely see the indicator, particularly in bright weather conditions and when the sun is shining on the indicators. Weiser wizards aim to eliminate this problem by cancelling the brake and running lights on the side that is indicating. Let me demonstrate on a bike which has the Weiser wizards fitted. You'll notice that this bike also has an optional auxiliary brake light below the number plate. This is a Dongle B6 auxiliary brake light and can be plugged directly in to certain versions of the Weiser wizards. You can also run the auxiliary brake light through a CAN bus controller such as the Hex Easy CAN, the Dongle CAN Smart or the Lone Rider Moto CAN. If you buy the Weiser wizards with the designator BR or BO, you will get an adapter to plug the auxiliary brake light into the Weiser wizard. BR stands for brake and running light. BO is brake only. You'll now see that when we indicate and put the brakes on, you only get the indicator on the side that's indicating, making it easier to see the indicator, far less confusing and far less dangerous. The later models of the Weiser wizards come with a link cable. This enables the Weiser wizards to handle the situation when the hazard lights are on and allow the lights to revert back to the OEM default behaviour. When making your choice of which wizards to buy, if you prefer to run the auxiliary brake light through a CAN bus controller, then you can buy a V5 link which does not have the provision for an auxiliary brake light. If you prefer to run the auxiliary brake light through the Weiser wizards, then you have two choices. You can choose V5 Link BR for brake and running lights, and this will give you both brakes and running lights on the auxiliary brake lights. Or you can choose BO for brake only if you want the brakes only on the auxiliary brake lights. If you do choose to run an auxiliary brake light through a CAN bus controller, you can program it at any time to act either as a BR or a BO and can also set different intensities of each light. We will now run through fitting a Weiser wizard for the BMW R1300 GS. In this instance, I'll be fitting the BO brake only version, and I'll be fitting an auxiliary brake light, the Dongle B6. We'll start off by taking the seats off, finding the indicator connectors and attaching the Weiser wizard in between the BMW connectors. Here is the cable that goes to the optional auxiliary brake light. We turn the key and the rear seat lifts up at the back, being careful to pull out the heated seat cable. And again, the front seat. We're going to remove this brace here, 4 bolts, and then located in here are the connectors that we're looking for. Now as we lift this, be careful because there is something attached to the bottom, which we can pull off and put that aside. What we're looking for under here, 2 connections. We have one connector here held in by this metal bracket, and there's one just down there. As I pull these out, the metal connector will probably come out with it. That doesn't matter, we can put that back or leave it to one side. So we want this one out and the other one out. We now have both of these clips out. The metal came out with that one. I managed to get that one without. So we can simply pull off the metal clip from that one and either keep it handy or we can place it back where it was. We need to pull these connectors open by lifting this catch. We take the Weiser wizard. They are not site specific. We plug the male into the female and the female into the male. I'll do the same on the other side. That clicks in there, making sure it clicks down and there. I'll just check that those are clipped down as well. And oh, see, that one's still up a bit, so give it a click down to make sure it's holding on. So that's basically all there is to it, and we need to put them back, cable tie them in, and then we'll get on with attaching the auxiliary brake light. Next we'll put the brace back in. To fit the auxiliary brake light, it's a simple case of lining this up at the back, marking where to drill a hole. I've drilled my holes, put the number plate screws through. In order to get the wire from the number plate back to under the seat, we're going to run it up the back of the number plate and through the centre of this. To do that, we need to remove this. For that, loosen off the side pannier holders. The front bolt can stay in but needs to be loosened. The back one needs to be completely removed, and there's one bolt underneath. You can then pull these to the side and drop them out the way. Underneath we have an angled bolt either side here, and slide the box back. We can then take the box apart by undoing the two little screws underneath it. I've loosened this bolt off. I'm going to leave it in place. This bolt I've undone, and each side will remove. From underneath the bike we're removing this bolt on both sides. Now we can pull out the side pannier hanger and lower it down on both sides. Then undo these two bolts underneath. They angle towards the front, and as we start loosening them off, you'll start to feel this box loosening off. Slide that out and down. Undo two small screws underneath the back of this box, and the top will lift off. Remove these two screws here to release this panel, and see the hole at the back where we're going to put the wire through. We'll take this wire through the small hole at the back and feed it through here. I'm going to put a couple of cable ties in down here to hold the wire away from the radar, and one here. I've cable tied the wire in here, and we're going to put it up through this hole in the front. The number plate back on and pull through the wire through the cable ties, and it comes through this hole at the back to meet the visor with on here. To place the top back on, we hook at the back underneath here and click it in, and then we can put those two screws in. With the top in place, we have to hook this over two catches at the back, slide it slightly forward, and then as we position the wires and do these bolts up, it's going to hold it all back into place. All back together in reverse order. That leaves us just to plug the cable in to the visor wizards here. One final thing, on the back of the number plate I'll put a little sticky tab with a wire holder on it to hold the wire against the number plate. Once you've cable tied it, which I'm not going to do because I'm fitting some more stuff, we'll put the seats back, remembering to connect the heated seats if you've got them. That's all done. I think you can see it didn't take long at all and really improves your safety on the road. So thank you for watching. See you next time.